pimp like Van Gogh. Body man, hold up, ayy. Be like Ted, hold up, ayy. Be ashamed, hold up, ayy. Ain't no game, hold up.
Kept moving these.
We got something for you.
Let's go before more of them show up.
Whoa. That was super cool cloaking tech. How does it work?
You take the left, I'll take the right. Show me, Gohan. Show me our combined power.
I will.
This is the end for you, Gohan. He actually did it! Way to go, Gohan.
Today, we're talking video games. As an industry, the video game industry takes a lot of cogs to move, so to speak. From programmers to artists to managers to sound designers to advertisers, there are a lot of people who have to eat. And that's not even getting into the sheer amount of voice actors, producers, ground level jobs, and other small and large pieces of work that are kept in circulation. Even at corporate offices, janitors and clerks have to get paid. Many in the media industry or tech rely on video games to make ends meet. And in knowing this, any rational person understands that game developers need to make a living, just not at the expense of the gamer. There's enough information out there to prove that they need these microtransactions. However, there's also just as much evidence of malpractice and greed from publishers and developers alike, and all for the sake of $1. And finding that information is easier than you think. So, when doing any research, I found that there are 3 main avenues that one can confirm these findings for themselves. First is right here on YouTube. Various videos by the Yak Man, Synthetic Man, and just about any other content creator you watch or have heard of has had something to say about loot boxes and microtransactions in any of their favorite IPs or just the industry as a whole. Now, some would say that's all you really need to do to learn about the issue, and in some ways I can agree. However, if you want to dig a little bit deeper, there are other ways and other places you can find that go a little bit more in depth into the issue. 2.  2 issue. So the last 2 places to search sort of count as one in a way. First is right here on YouTube. Various videos by the Yak Man, Synthetic Man, and just about any other content creator you watch or have heard of has had something to say about loot boxes and microtransactions in any of their favorite IPs or just the industry as a whole. Now, some would say that's all you really need to do to learn about the issue, and in some ways I can agree. However, if you want to dig a little bit deeper, there are other ways and other places you can find that go a little bit more in depth into the issue. So We can search various articles on the net, ranging all the way from market research and investments to academic journals related to scientific or legislative measures on gaming and microtransactions. In the case of gaming, most data is good data, valuable in its ability to confirm our findings on what monetization looks like in video games. And in today's age, no matter where you look, a large percentage of the world are now gamers. As it stands, the gaming industry has surpassed film and music a number of years ago. And with the steep increase in profits, it is imperative that these people get paid. Anyone with an understanding mind knows this. The problem is how these companies go about it. It stands to reason that so many gamers have grown jaded at the presence of any sort of loot box or microtransaction. In the early days, DLC was more than welcomed for many an IP, and today that still somewhat holds true. Games such as Monster Hunter World, whose DLC is mostly cosmetic, has only recently stepped into charging for these cosmetic items. Previously on their handheld titles, DLC has generally been free on all levels. They sparse it out between free title updates as well as one or two paid expansion packs, which are basically second generations of the games they created. So it's usually worth the price. The argument that DLC and even loot boxes or microtransactions should be banned is a bit extreme, but understanding their predatory nature is key in developing systems that are more upfront and more in the consumer's favor, to the point that they at least know what they're getting. At this point in time, academia and legislature has had to get involved in video game microtransaction laws. Many have compared their practices to gambling. The main difference being game systems do not give the user live cash as a reward, but instead virtual goods. As such, most governments do not feel the need to completely associate gaming with gambling. But the similar elements still warrant attention, which is what we've seen in countries like the US, China, and Japan. So then we have to ask, what are some of the practices gaming companies use in order to gain extra revenue? First, we have in-game currencies, such as Fortnite's V-Bucks or the gems in Genshin Impact. Then, there's random chance encounters, which are more or less limited time packs or sales on virtual currencies or items. If you play 2K, then you know what I'm talking about, all the way from my team to my career. Lastly are the in-game items themselves, which can range from in-game currency, special weapons, vehicles, and the like. Just about every game that has an internet connection has a system of this kind, and some have combinations of the types. Now, here's where understanding the psychology of microtransactions is important. Most people don't know, but companies put plenty of resources into understanding the spending habits of the consumer through the data in the game directly or through other forms such as focus groups. All of that basically to say that these companies know what they're doing when they add time sales to VC packs or card packs or any other pack for that matter. All they're trying to do is unpack your wallet. And to be honest, the data supports the fact that younger audiences develop stronger addictions to gambling due to some of these practices. This leads to more and more problem gambling, as they call it, or spending from the older youth. They conclude that being exposed to loot boxes may indeed expose children to the concept of a gamble, spending money with a randomly generated result. And sure, I think restricting games with some of these practices to a certain age is a bit over the top. I do think that the public shaming has done some good in the modern day. Most new games still come out monetized, but at least the loot box system has diminished greatly. Instead, we now have the battle pass, which has its issues. It can be a bit long and tired, but at least you know what you're getting. If you decide to play consistently, that is. They have at least taken out a bit of the randomness of it all. But games like Genshin Impact, those gotchas, are still perpetuating the problem.
Roll on the beginner banner too? You're kidding me, another 5-star? That was right next to the other one. It's a Gene? You literally got 2 5-stars within like 20 wishes. And another official. Talk about streamer luck, dude. And another chop. Whoa now. Calm down, bro.
I think most gamers can agree that this problem began being perpetuated in the mobile market, where these incentivizations for the more casual gamer to keep playing offered them a chance to gain some extra money. But the problem here again is that AAA developers who are already charging $60 and now $70 for their games still implement some of these practices. Some of gaming's longest running publishers are some of the biggest gainers in microtransactions. And like I said in the beginning, these people have to eat. But after careful examination, we can pretty much agree that companies have gone past the line more than once, locking characters, mechanics, and content already coded on the disc behind paywalls that are more than unnecessary. The best way to combat this is for parents to monitor their children and for adults and teenagers to protest with their wallets. No demand, no supply. Support the companies who make the right practices and the right decisions when it comes to DLC and microtransactions, and save money when they don't. It's that simple. And that's all from me. Peace.
Nigga, hit me when you ready, cause I'm on another way. Do for self and separate. Intuition tell a nigga about the heathens in the face. Baby like me, but she cannot have me any kind of way. That's just how it goes, and no, I know not any other way. Always tell it on the beat, no, I'm not tripping off the fame. On this path, this life been dishing out like plenty of this pain. Spirit descending from slaves, adaptation stem from change. The homie lost his baby brother, why they take that man away? Yeah, my nigga got a daughter, about a year and some change. He didn't come a long way, but it's problems that we face. It's